Mic check, mic check.
What? What's up? What's up?
What's happening, folks? As
How's
you know,
everybody doing?
welcome to the
Collective
bargaining.
Bargaining Podcast.
You already know. It's huge because today we're jumping straight into some of those games. Now, I
Yeah.
just remember one off the list, to be honest, because I think it was like 3 games. I think the games from yesterday had about 9 games, and out of the 9, we had like 3 answers where we differed.
Actually, it was only two.
It was only 2 we differed on.
It was only 2 we differed on.
Oh, it was only 2. Was it enough to set a winner apart, though? Or was it a draw?
It was a
was
split.
it was the Indiana game, right? The Boston Indy game, right?
It was.
Yeah. Damn, man. Damn. So what do the rules stipulate here, man? With the 2 happening?
What was the rule? What was the rule we put in place?
I don't
again?
think we anticipated
We
a
didn't
draw,
really set-
man.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
We did.
You sure there wasn't like a 3rd game yesterday that we?
I am positive because
So
based on what I
Lakers,
have
we both picked the Lakers to win that.
Yes, we did. Sadly,
Cavs,
and I
we picked the
really
Jazz.
wanted to think. Yeah, we picked the Jazz.
We picked the Mavs,
Yep, we lost
picked-
that. Ooh.
and we picked the Spurs. They lost.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Okay, and the Heat won. They took their game, and then
Yeah,
the Wizards.
Wiz
We had
won.
the Wizards over Magic
we had
for
Wizards.
sure.
And we had
And,
76ers.
You're right. Well,
Yeah,
didn't you sure we had the same answer for that one?
bro, we had the same answer.
All right,
I
man.
wrote it
So we
down.
picked the 76ers. Both picked the 76ers. Then all right. That's all good. So I
It
guess
happens.
it means we both
It's a
have to
stalemate
drink
this week.
something then. Well, I mean, I think since we both screwed up and we both take the
wow.
hit, you know.
Okay.
I was hoping to turn this thing into a one-sided thing, man. People are gonna think you have your own version of Drink Champs, man. I'm telling you, that at the rate you are gonna be drinking different drinks, so, you know, people
Oh,
are
you
gonna
got
think
jealous.
people are gonna think, man, this guy running a Drink Champs, man. So this is the bottle of Sincoro.
Wow.
This
He
is
was
the
ready.
Jordan tequila, which is absolute trash. Absolute trash. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sorry for the heavy blur. It's just the camera is just
It's blurring out.
yeah, it's just sticking to me right now, and it's anything else is supposed to blur out. So it's doing its job, but this is the bottle of Sincoro from Jordan. Now, in all fairness, right? There's supposed to be levels, you know, but so I jumped in at mid tier for this
Okay.
particular bottle. Now, the bottle
Okay.
itself, the way it's designed, and I don't want to, you know, we're not running ads for this, but what's
No,
cool?
of course not.
The coolest thing about this was that the bottle is curved at a 23-degree angle. That's the relationship to Jordan.
Yeah,
So-
I get it.
You know, so but apart from that, this thing tastes like garbage. All right, straight garbage. But you know, since we both screwed up, I'm gonna open it up. I mean, the last time I had this serving, man, was to punish people in a game we were playing, man. You know, so where you have to say stuff jumbled up, and you have to whoever had the least points, you know, had to drink this, and this was popping up a lot for punishment. So I'm just gonna pour some absolutely nasty as tequila, man. I don't know how somebody could stay there and approve something like this as tequila, knowing the type of tequilas that are out on the market. There's no way somebody's supposed to be buying this and drinking it.
That is crazy.
But yeah, at least this version. So you know what?
So that's because it's tears. You're assuming that it gets better.
Well, I'm not. Picture this, right? There's only so much you could deviate when it comes to tequila. Man, this guy has like a magic hand passing. You know what? That's like a Kevin Hart. You know Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud network where he has like
Yeah.
Mr. Hand in the background. So
Mr.
shout
Hand in
out,
the background.
shout out to the
Shout out
hand
to
in
the
the
hand.
background. Man, I need a hand that could just pass a proper drink and not this Jordan drink to me. But
Yeah,
yeah, that was dope. That was dope. So hand was on point, man. Yeah.
hand was on
Um,
point.
but this, yeah, so it's blurring it out for a I actually like that because if you have a drink that you don't want to advertise, man, it's just naturally.
Exactly. It just naturally blows it out. It was great.
Yeah, that's actually cool, man. But no, so just waiting on you to pour yours, and man, this thing is bad. I hate to make a scene out of it, but it's actually bad. Now, if you're just tuning in a bit late, what we do is we select a couple games, and then the next episode we actually come in, and whoever has the least right based on the
Yeah.
NBA games, that
Takes a
person has
shot.
to take a shot of something. Well, today is a bit more than a shot. I have a glass of we both drew, so every time we draw, essentially we both have to take
You
a
take a
shot. So you
shot.
mind telling us what you're drinking? What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking my usual stuff.
All right,
My
all right.
usual stuff.
Under the counter. Yeah, yep.
The
All
usual
right, all right.
under the counter
You have
stuff.
like a nickname for it, like a personal name for your bottle, or
Man, not
nah?
really. I didn't think about it. I probably
All
had to
right,
think about
man.
it.
All right, here we go then. To that draw.
Hey man, we're
let's
gonna we're gonna do another one at the end of the
yeah,
episode because
yeah.
we
Well,
definitely need a winner for that next one.
definitely, I would say so. Let's get to it, man. All right.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, bro.
Woo!
It's just bad for tequila, man. I'm telling you.
Ooh, my
It's just
AC
bad
was
for
on. I was
tequila.
feeling cold. Now I'm all warm
No,
and
you're all
fuzzy.
good. Man. Yeah. No, that was
Woo!
that was good. That was good. That was good. Um yeah, we so those games, you had some good games, man. Some surprises actually. Um, for me, I thought the Pacers game was gonna be a little closer, but it almost looks like the
Same.
chemistry for the Celtics is actually something
Just
to
a.
be admiring right now.
I don't know it because some games it's great, and then
Yeah,
other games you're left
it's
wondering like,
off.
okay,
Yeah,
where was the team I saw last night?
yeah.
Or where was the
But I
team I saw like 2 games ago?
but I'm sensing a chemistry right now that's something to speak of because you look at the way that Tatum was standing up for him, right? Someone came out and was saying, well, and it may have been Kendrick Perkins actually that
Right.
was making a comment. Jalen Brown comes in and scores, drops a
30.
certain amount of points, certain amount of rebounds, and yet we look at Jason Tatum only shooting, he was shooting below, I
He
think
was, yeah,
30%. He was shooting
he had a
below
horrible shooting
40%.
streak.
And he came out and he said something right. There's no problem in bigging up my teammate, but you don't have to shoot me down to
To
uplift
bring him
him
up.
as a
Yeah.
player. And that's true. That's something that we tend to see, especially in basketball and competitive sports, in society in general, right? We see people thinking that
Facts.
in the GOAT debate, right? We see people thinking, well, you got to step on Braun or Jordan to elevate the other. And
To
the truth
elevate the other
is,
one.
as we've seen in that episode, go check it out, where we had an actual NBA player on the show. Um, you know, you don't have to critique a player or step or drag a player or a person to
Facts.
uplift the other. You just don't. You can
Facts.
you can talk about one and just mute the other, or just have a neutral consensus on the other. So there's really nothing wrong with doing that. But in this case, the chemistry, I just sense something, and it's coming alive at the right time because if you check your standings, you'll see that the Celtics are right at that play-in area, right? They're sitting in 10th right now in the East.
10th, yeah.
And that means they're going to be in a battle against, I would say, a really unpredictable Wizards squad because they've had players in and out. They have guys that could score the ball at any given point in time.
Mhm.
I would love to see a series. When I really think about it, because of how strong both teams are, they're not really strong, but interesting players.
Right.
I'd love to see a 7-game series
All
between the
right.
Wizards and the
So,
Celtics.
okay, so you think with the current standings that it's going to stay this way? Because we got
Uh
Bulls at 1, Nets at 2, Heat at 3, Bucks at 4,
the
76ers
top four
5.
will interchange. The top four will
Okay.
go back and forth, right?
All right.
The
So
Cavs.
76ers, Cavs, Hornets, Raptors, Wizards, and Celtics.
So the 76ers, I think, will make. They're not stupid. I think they're being a bit hard-headed right now, but I trust that front office. Let me tell you, if that front
You
office,
trust Maury?
let me say this, if that front office was to sit back
Right.
and allow that trade deadline to pass and
Without getting
allow
anything.
Ben Simmons to sit out that contract, knowing that you have an Embiid who is actually just a little bit more healthier than he usually is. I'm not saying
Yes,
he's
correct.
he's all
And he's actually
healthy,
very productive.
but he's being productive. He's playing at one of the
Nah,
highest
he's
levels.
but
You
he's
just don't.
productive. He's being productive.
Right. But because of his history, you just don't know what type of player you're going to be getting the following year. So, given that,
Exactly.
you cannot afford to waste a year, even a year or 6 months with a player like this. You got to load
It's
up
true.
right now. As young as Embiid is, 76ers are always, because of his health, in a win now mode, right?
Yeah,
It's just a trade off for having a player like that. So for
that is
you
true.
to sit on Ben Simmons would be insane. So at the end of the day, I
Yeah, but then
trust, if I could say this, I trust that those guys will actually know this and make the moves that they need to make and
you're
get it
saying
going.
you're saying that as you though. Don't forget
Yeah,
this is the same 76ers
true.
organization that says they want to package they want to package the bias with Ben.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah.
moving 99 what is it? How much
You're
million is
not
that?
you're not moving eighty
How you
million
how you
dollars,
moving all
man.
this? How you
According to
moving all this
Kuz,
money?
shout out to Kuz.
Exactly. You ain't moving $78 million.
Yeah, that's not
Where
happening.
where?
That's not
To
happening.
where?
And he's
And even
right.
if it's just
He's right.
even if it's Ben alone, right?
Yeah,
They say they want back players to put them in a position to win a championship.
and on
What
top of
players?
that, Tobias
What's
Harris is not 100%. So
exactly?
so who are they kidding? Who are they kidding?
Who wants?
Now they met recently with Ben's agent, and
Yeah, Rich Paul.
obviously that went nowhere. It wasn't expected to go anywhere, right? If you look at the circumstances.
Yeah,
And because they're being so hesitant, let's be honest. Earlier episodes, we said that they were never going to recoup a full fledged superstar. And that's just because all we have to go on, you see, the theory I put out was that they were going to play him so he could boost his value.
right.
That didn't
That's
work
correct.
out.
Yeah,
Therefore,
that's what a normal player would have done. I would have just played,
exactly. Now,
get me out
all
of here
we have to go on is the fact that
from last season.
this guy choked big time in the playoffs, right? So,
And yeah, and that's the last thing you have to go on because the last couple of games it looked like he was scared of the ring.
exactly.
It,
So
it
that's
looked like he was Superman watching some kryptonite. It's like
exactly. So all you have right now is this guy that choked in the playoffs and then showed up to practice with something that looked like his phone in his pocket.
but we know it wasn't his fault.
Right. That's why I said something that looked like his phone, right? So I didn't
Right,
come out and say phone, but when I saw it
right.
initially, I thought it was a phone, right?
Yeah,
So and it was still crazy. Just his whole demeanor in the practice, man. You could tell that the player didn't want to be there, right?
the thing is, Ben I think I said before, he took a gamble in the sense that he thought he could just force the 76ers hand, say, yo,
Right.
I want out and I'm not playing. Just trade me
Insane.
now.
Insane.
But he didn't realize the beast that he was playing with in Maury, and like, yo, I
Right.
ain't sending you nowhere unless I get something nice.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
So that's the stalemate.
Yeah, it's baffling to me, man. It is baffling to me.
So
Um,
unless he decides to say, all right, I'll play, then that's the only way I think that only way that would speed up the trading process.
right, right. Yeah, it's they're in a bind. And someone's gonna have to break for the good of both parties because, as we said, 76ers have some key players that they can work with.
Yes.
And it means that they have to find a way to package. It may take moving a player that they don't necessarily want to move at this given point in time, but you have to address this in order to give Embiid the players around him that he needs. So it may take multiple teams being involved to a point where you may lose one or two players, but in the end you get two shooters, you get maybe a great point guard that can get you going. Now we'd have to look around the league to really think who is actually available for them to make such a move. Now a couple teams actually come to mind when I'm thinking need a player now. You probably need to target teams that need help. So when I look at, for example, a Denver squad, right, that the only problem is you have a Porter Jr. who's injured. But if Porter
Yeah.
Jr. was healthy, I'd be looking at the 76ers and I'd be like, you know what? We have Jamal Murray. He's going to come back at a certain point. We've seen other players come back and be 100%
Yes.
after these injuries, so we have the confidence that he's going to be himself. So therefore,
Yes.
we've seen and we don't really trust Porter Jr. I'm going to package something for Ben Simmons and bring him in so he can help Jokic in the playoffs. I'm not going to worry too much about his shooting off the bat, but we need someone else um, that can be around the court, and they may not even use him at the point. You can space Jokic. You can have him. We've seen Jokic at the top of the key, right, with the ball in his
Yes,
hands,
we
right?
have.
I'm
We
not
have.
saying he's a point, but he has passing
No, he has.
skills.
He has enough passing skills to
Exactly.
be that.
And play Ben at the three, etc., and play some ball and see what happens. Now the pieces, I haven't gone exactly into the pieces as to how we would make it work. You need salaries, obviously, to match the
Yeah,
max. So maybe a third
that's
team to get those right
to
pieces
get that right.
involved would need to take part. I would target Sacramento, obviously. They're not moving the needle down there. So try and get them involved. Get
Trying
a
to get
third
something.
team that's not really
Yeah.
moving. Like look towards Orlando. You need scoring off the
The,
bench. You
the
got
two teams
Terrence.
that we don't talk about,
Yeah,
Sacramento and
yeah.
Orlando.
You got Terrence Ross rotting
Oh
down there in
yes,
Orlando, not
Terrence
doing
Ross.
anything, and that's a 20 piece
Oh
off the bench easily. So
yes,
that's your sixth
yes,
man.
that is
So you
true.
have a lot of pieces here and there that you can actually move around the table. And yeah,
So,
no. So there,
question about the same about or
sure,
since we bring back up teams all the time, but the
right,
Pacers,
right.
Sabonis for Ben.
Ooh, my only question about that would be the Brogdon situation, because for me, if you're actually looking at moving Ben, I think because you have Brogdon occupying
Mm,
that space. Now, Brogdon's impact, and shout out to Dread Kang right now, live with us. Dread Kang, that new
what up?
song that he has out right now,
Whoop,
go
whoop.
check that out. Search up Dread Kang on SoundCloud and YouTube, etc. This guy from Grenada out in Jersey is moving, moving, moving.
Moving.
All right, be a part of that movement. It's I could say so much, man. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for tuning in.
What up? What up?
But yeah, I would say I would say you have to involve moving, possibly maybe you could argue you can move him to the two, right?
Right.
Because he can shoot the ball. So yeah, I would say that's a good trade actually. I would say
Yeah,
that's a
because
good trade.
because it'll be a nice little duo on the inside.
Yeah. Now, I would think that the 76ers are probably looking for a 1 to 3 position.
I
Um,
agree.
yeah. And not even, possibly not even a 3, 1 or 2 position, I think. Shooting guard, point guard.
Mhm.
So it doesn't need to be of the exact mold, but I think they're
Right.
definitely looking for someone in that
How do you
regard.
think a fit like Brandon Ingram would be with the 76ers? Is he too
Um,
ball dominant?
no, because he can spot up and shoot the ball. I think that gives him. I'm not saying that's his game. I'm just saying
Right.
that he has that
That he
ability.
could ability, yeah.
That he can actually be a good complement to that team. And actually, that's a good point because he's on his final year, right, of that contract down there.
I
I
believe.
don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he extended, so that might be a good move. Actually, target the Pelicans with that Ingram trade, because I'm sure he wants to win. He's proven himself. I could pop 20,
Definitely.
25, and really get going. Oh, Dread Kang said that Jeremy Grant could be a good addition as
Oh,
well to
yeah,
that
that
scene.
is
Yeah,
true.
yeah, no, yeah,
A lot of
that's a good addition.
a lot of teams are looking at Jeremy Grant. To be honest,
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, if I'm the Lakers, man, I'm diving in and getting a player
I
like
knew
that.
you would have said the Lakers.
Yeah. Well, I called that out since I've been begging for because before he even went to that team, right? When the Nuggets were
Right.
shopping him, I was like, this is the guy they need to put around potentially Braun to take some of the load off. You need someone in the mold of a three, not a point guard. You need someone in the mold because Braun he'll tell you, hey, I'm playing center. Oh, but when crunch time comes, Braun is your
He give him the
point.
ball. Yeah, he
He's
takes
your
the ball.
point. He's not playing off ball.
Well,
Just study his game.
not in the last couple of games when Russ takes the ball and shoot a three. But
Yeah, but
whatever.
right, but Russ, look at Russ, man. 2 for 14. Russ is garbage right now, man. This entire season, man. I'm sorry. But we will be frank,
It's
right?
still early.
And he'll say that, and honestly, I think that would have been a good move. Complement him with some wings because if you go with the three, it means that you can spread them out. If you want Jeremy Grant to play a two at any given point, he probably can play it because he can score. You want him to
Yes,
play a four, he can probably stretch as a four and still cause problems because he's smaller and can move. Yet he's
true.
tall, lengthy, long, athletic, you know, ultimate complement. I just think that at this point, you don't have those pieces. Now, it's interesting, right? They gave Rondo away for almost nothing. I would have honestly tried to package Rondo. Now, the money situation in LA, we know how that goes.
Yes,
I
a
would
little
have
tight.
tried to squeeze Rondo. Maybe you could even look this up in the trade machine. What happens if you squeeze Rondo, um, THT, right? And potentially, I'm just going through the bench.
Well, they couldn't trade THD at the time.
They couldn't trade him at the time.
They can
Okay.
trade him on
Beca-
Saturday, I think. From
yeah,
Saturday,
yeah,
from the fifth. What's the day? Yeah, from the 15th, he's
yeah.
available to be traded.
Right, right. Shout out to Teddy Rhymes, man. Another guy in the
Inside.
music game doing. Say no more, man. Say less. Say less. You know what it is,
Hey.
man. That the COVID situation has me a bit out of the soca music, but I know you in the lab writing some ultra classics. This guy has written songs for some of the
The biggest stars.
legends, absolute
Big.
legends, timeless music for people out there in the industry.
Teddy
Check
been
out his
writing for
own music,
years,
man.
man.
Yeah, just look up the name Teddy Rhymes, man. Say less. You don't even have to go past that. Just and you'll get everything you need from there. Um,
Inside better than outside.
that's right. Teddy Rhymes actually. Teddy said, that Kendrick Nunn is back before the end of the month. That's true.
True.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
an additional piece, and
Yeah.
we know he's
Because
really
we
twitchy.
haven't seen him play. We haven't seen him
No,
play at all.
it's a weird injury, right? It's kind of like the
Yeah.
Morris brother that got the chuck in the back. It didn't seem serious, but
But
the
then
guy's been out like a
since
long
since
time.
the
It's
chuck
over
in
a
the back.
month now, right? Yeah,
Since the
yeah,
chuck in the back, yeah.
yeah. Man, I was like, wow, that is a serious injury, man. But
Yeah, that's
you
what
look
you
at the
get for being
snap.
dirty, bro.
Oh man, Jokic. He had a dust up with someone in no, not Miami.
No,
On the Suns, right? Crowder, right?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was too funny, man. That was too funny. But I guess it's at the point right now where he's just not gonna accept guys trying
Oh
to
no,
take
you ain't trying to
advantage.
you ain't trying to sun me, son.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You ain't gonna
We got
intimidate me.
we got Wilbur in the building. Wilbur,
Hey, the Knicks man.
Wilbur, you need to check out the episode, man. Certain people took some shots at you in the last episode, man, and your Knicks,
I wonder who that was.
and your Knicks are still not looking too good, man. They had
I mean,
50-50.
they won last
They
night.
won, man. But the Knicks
Yeah.
are trash, man. Come on, man. Let's be honest, man. There's a
They
lot of
made
trash
yo.
going
They got a
around.
nice little trade today too. They got Cam.
Yeah. Oh
They
yeah.
traded
Reddish.
yeah.
Reddish. I
Yeah,
saw that. I saw that.
they
I
traded
saw
for
that.
Cam.
They moved Knox, right? So
Yeah, they moved
because
Knox and they got Cam
Knox
Reddish.
Knox wasn't really in the rotation, right?
He
So
was not.
Okay,
So I think
okay, okay.
it was a good move for them because they got another scorer and they need
He,
scoring.
he he said they beat a good Dallas team, man. Stop it,
Come on,
man.
son.
Listen, man, stop it.
Come on, son.
Dallas is hey,
That's is mediocre.
n-
A
Dallas
good
has
Dallas.
so many issues right now with
Flaws.
balancing that team. It's just Luca honestly needs to step off the ball a little more and create some balance in that team and allow other players to see the ball, feel the ball, drop his usage rate a bit because he's not exactly that player yet, but he's trying to be. And to me, it's creating a lot of issues with players not getting into their rhythm. You look at the other players, it's not that they can't play, it's guys just not finding their rhythm because of how the offense is tailored right now. And it's causing them a lot of problems. So going back to your point, Wilbur, I wouldn't really count that as conquering the hill, you know?
That was one
Yeah,
game. Let's
yeah.
see they do it on consecutive nights.
He's like, Bulls fans have a mouth right now. Listen,
Oh wow.
ask my co-host right now what I've been saying about the Bulls. I've been very
Yeah,
candid.
he's not sold on his Bulls. Is
I'm not sold on the
missing a
Bulls.
couple pieces.
And exactly what you just said about DeRozan disappearing, the Bulls don't have a guy that will go off. And I'm not convinced by anyone on the Bulls squad that they are ready for the playoffs. Levine,
Okay.
unproven. DeRozan, we've seen enough of him over the years to know that despite the performances you see right now,
Come on.
he is
Sooner
not
or later,
a playoff player.
he's going to elevate his game, and this season has shown that by far he is not the same player that he was
He's
seasons prior.
I honestly I do not think that this guy is the player that we think he's going to be. Let me listen.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely in the MVP conversation right now.
Agreed.
That mid-range game and just
Stella.
his
Absolute
timeliness,
Stella.
stellar. Give him credit. They have the record. He needs to be in that conversation right now. The Bulls, as Teddy's pointing out, they're well constructed. But but
Yeah, I'm
there's a
used ready
huge
for
but.
MJ.
It's just hey, Anna, shout out to you and the fam. We already took that shot. I have it
Yeah,
right here.
we took that shot already.
For those that missed it, every week we take a
Took
bet
that
pretty
shot.
much on the different games. So he has a drink called under the counter that he takes
Oh,
a shot of. Is if he gets less right than me, if I get less right than him, then I take a shot. Now Michael Jordan makes this Sincoro tequila. I would not call this tequila because
shit.
it does not taste like quality tequila that I've had. And I'm a huge tequila is one of my favorite drinks. And this does not taste like anything that you call tequila. Now, how is this related to Michael Jordan? The angle that you see it at, and I'm sorry for the blur, is just not we're not advertising any drinks from Jordan right now, but it's curved at a 23-degree angle. But apart from that,
23
there's
degrees.
absolutely nothing of quality about this drink. So Anna already had it. Tell Javi I took the drink,
He's
and
in
it
front.
is not something that we want to continue
Repeat.
drinking. To be honest, I'd probably order. I need to get 1800 in as soon as possible because after I had it, I instantly felt like tequila, but just not having
Not
more of
this one.
this garbage, man. No, 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 not
I,
gonna happen.
you had it. I fell for tequila, but just not this one anymore.
Yeah, not this one at all. Now, I in fairness, as Dread Kang is pointing out, um,
Right.
the Bulls are dogs. The Bulls are
Yes,
dogs.
they have a
Yeah,
lot of nice, have a lot of good dogs in them. But I think they're missing that piece at the four and a nice little center. They miss just inside. They're missing a little defense.
absolutely, absolutely. And
Ooh,
that's just one of the things that I think they're gonna have to retool in the playoffs. I think it's the answer lies in their bench. Now, keep in mind, you have guys like Caruso and other guys that are gonna come in and they're gonna be
yeah,
instant defense and
yeah.
just levels of energy off the bench. But
Energy.
you need a guy that is going to steady the ship for them when DeRozan's not hitting those long range contesters, or sorry, not long range, but mid range contested shots, and Levine's shooting from three and it's not going for them. Where's that offense going to come from? Is it going to be Vujicic? I don't think so.
No,
Um,
he's not.
you
He's
know,
not consistent enough for me to
yeah,
be like, yeah, I want him. I want him to
right.
have the ball.
Yeah.
Um,
So Wilbur was saying, send them, send that man some blue light.
I might have to send you up some blue light for real though.
Yeah, yeah, for real, man. You know, Soupy. So Soupy is up here right now in Chicago, man. So
What
that
up,
would have been the
super?
chance to send it up, man. So
No,
I
that's
need
true.
to
That's
send him the
true.
link. If you guys have Soupy, send it to him, man. Teddy was actually asking, so are you guys sold on the Warriors? You know, they've been losing as of late, and are currently down big. Yeah, I saw that they were getting blown out by
Yo, the
Milwaukee.
score, they're down by 30 right now.
Yeah, shout out to Milwaukee. They're just an hour and a half from me. So you know it's Bulls and Milwaukee going crazy
Yeah.
right now. But
Yeah, but
um that city, apart from the Bucks, man, I'm not gonna critique them, but the beer and other things in the summer are good. But when you see Chicago and then you go to Milwaukee, it's like, ooh, yeah, back to Chicago. But yeah, it's all good. But what I
right
think of them,
now, yeah.
I'm
The
I'll give you a
the
prediction.
okay.
The Warriors, when the season started, Teddy, the Warriors, I said, because of that V-shape recovery they made from the prior season, I indicated that the Warriors would not go very far. Now, everybody out there was like, well, look at the record, you know, and it was stunning to me. I had to apologize in a prior episode. And I will still stand by it that when I look at this squad, this is not, people are getting fooled by the performances by Steph, Superman Steph. You have to remember,
I
Draymond
don't
is not
know.
the Draymond of old. Iguodala is not the Iguodala of old.
They have other pieces though.
Wiggins is not any proven tool in the playoffs.
Wiggins is
Who
significantly better.
he's not a prove is let me ask you a question. Is Wiggins a proven weapon in the playoffs?
Wiggins ain't even been to the playoffs. That's not the point.
So yes or no? No, right?
All right,
Good.
okay.
Now, so let me ask you another
That's a,
question. Is Poole a proven weapon in the playoffs?
they've never been to the playoffs.
Thank you very much. No, that's just adding to my point, right? Now let me ask you:
What's the
Is
point?
Steph clutch in the playoffs?
All right, well, we've established that Steph is not
Thank you.
the
So so
greatest clutch player,
so
but
so knowing
we know that
everything you
Clay
just
is.
answered, so knowing everything you just answered for me, right?
That's nothing.
What? Wow!
That's nothing. All right. So
Wow!
the
Wow!
question was, are you sold on the
Wow!
Warriors? They had a late losing as late. So I am still sold on them. They're going to finish in the top 3. Here's
Yeah.
why. Recent couple games, Steph has had a couple bad games. I guess it was an injury or whatsoever. Right? Draymond's been injured. Clay's now coming back. So they have to incorporate everyone, make some minor tweaks. I don't see anything wrong. Steph is just having a bad couple games. Everybody has a bad couple games, right? Steph is horrible today as well. I'm not sure what's going on with Steph. I'm not sure if some injury that's making him not shoot like how he normally shoots. But I don't see any problem with it. Clay's playing. He's going to be coming back. Give him 2 months and he'll be back to normal soon. Give Draymond once Draymond's not playing. I don't think Draymond's playing tonight. Once Draymond
Yeah.
is out, the team is completely different.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, remember, he's one of those guys where you can't measure with stats.
Yeah.
It's the eye test. It's the impact on the court. So and then I don't know why you're disrespecting Wiggins like this, man.
I'm
Wiggins
not.
has
I'm.
proven
I love his
himself.
game. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah,
He
he just
has.
doesn't have the dog, but
He
that's
was.
okay.
He was supposed to be the man over Levine. If you can remember those mini days, right?
That is true.
He was supposed to be the
was
man.
he was above Levine at the
He was
time.
ranked above Levine. He was playing
Yeah.
better at one point, but Levine,
was.
after his injury,
Just came
decided,
back.
you know what?
Killer.
I have a lot on my shoulder. I got to get this out, and
Yeah.
this man just
I could do
started
this.
balling out, man. So,
Yeah.
I would say, you know, for me, because you have to consider how proven teams are and players are in the playoffs. And we've
Okay.
seen from time to time, this never fails you. When you don't have that proven experience, a player can be great, but because the game is so different once the playoffs start, the pressure, just everything slows down. The rotations get tighter, so you have to perform. I just think that
Okay, so
there are
question.
enough things to throw that
How
Warriors into some peril.
question to argue that? How
Yeah,
do you think Booker played in last playoffs?
it was in and out. It was. I mean, I thought he had some monster games, but it wasn't like every
Because don't forget
game was.
that's like his
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
playoff, and
But
he went
but
all the
but
way
in
to
all
the final.
fairness, I know what you're coming with. I
Okay.
know it. I know exactly what you're coming with. But we're not gonna get away with that right now. You know why? When you have CP3, who to me is one of the most calming voices. You know those players that just know
Come
how
on.
to
You
settle
got
your
Steph, you
team.
got Iggy,
Nah,
you got Clay,
these guys
you
are not
got
CP3.
Draymond.
These guys are not CP3. The Warriors are a system that is relying, whereas CP3 is the player that is able to just be a general on the court. It's just like LeBron, right? LeBron doesn't really play under a team's established system. LeBron is the system,
LeBron is a system. We know
right?
this.
And I think CP3 is not really in the same light, but he's just as much a floor general as LeBron. He can control the pace of a game
Okay,
and really
yeah.
influence the players around him in that sense. And I think because you have that shine, that guiding light, that's why that Suns team was able to really power through and make sense of those decisions. Anytime you saw teams in the playoffs making runs, CP3 would just make these timely baskets to, at the
This
end
is
of the game,
true.
he's never the scoring the most or anything like that, but he's just that guy that made that timely basket to settle
So
that run, quell that
you
run.
don't think guys that have been to the NBA finals, what is it, 4 years in a row,
Yeah.
would be able to do the same thing that
They're
CP?
good, but they're
Excuse me?
different. They're different players.
It's
And
three
I
different,
just I
four
I
different guys,
right. I
four different personalities.
yeah, to me, Steph is not that player because, in other words, I look at Steph. Steph is not that guy that's cool under that last minute in the playoffs. This is not the guy that knows that this is a big game and is going to show up and hit that last basket for you. He's just not that player. Steph is the greatest shooter to ever live. I'm not hating on Steph. I
Okay.
appreciate what he brings to the game. I want to establish that. But what he's not is some type of clutch player in the mold of
Yeah,
CP3
but
and LeBron James. He's just not
we
that
got
player.
his splash. We have his splash brother there. We
Well,
got
coming off, coming off,
Iggy's been clutch.
coming off one of the
Even
worst
Draymond's
injuries you
been
could,
clutch.
coming off one of the worst injuries. Listen, me and you both
Man,
know that
I'm talking about
Clay is
injuries.
gonna be on limited minutes for the
You
rest of the
talking about
season.
injuries?
For the
Injuries, not
rest
a
of the
game.
season, I don't care if
Injuries.
he's posterized. Let me tell you, it probably hurt his leg after he posterized that player right in his first
Oh,
game.
that dunk? Yeah.
The
I
the
was
entire
kind of shook.
the entire Warriors fan base had their hearts in their hands when they saw him go up
Yeah, but
for
you see,
that.
the thing is, we only see Clay
Yeah,
when he came on the court,
yeah, yeah.
right? To
Yeah.
do that. But I'm sure for the last couple of
Oh,
years,
he's been in contact. He's been full
he's been
contact.
scrimmaging,
Full contact.
dunking on guys. This is
Yeah,
normal.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
it was just a formality for us to see, like, oh, all
yeah,
right,
yeah,
he's back.
yeah, yeah.
So I think that's why the bench didn't react like, oh shit. They were more like, ooh,
Yeah,
yes,
get it
Clay,
in
get
there,
it.
man. We know you.
Yeah, get
You
it
got
in.
this.
Yeah,
You
we know you
got
can
this.
do it. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
loosen up those legs. I mean, and even
Right,
tonight he's doing pretty good.
right,
Well, I mean, pretty good is relative, but
right. I still think
so I'm not worried.
that
I'm not worried about Clay.
NBA
I'm
when
giving him a month and a half.
you miss 2 years, you haven't played an NBA game since. It doesn't matter if you're in contact. We've seen it. You're gonna need at least, if Jordan couldn't get his game up to 100% in half a season, how is Clay gonna do that? It's not. We're talking about
Which
when he came back
when he came back from baseball?
when he came back from
Okay.
baseball, right? And he took
Okay.
almost the same amount of time, 2 years, right? So yeah, and
It didn't
Orlando
take.
whooped his ass, right?
They
I
won
know a
the
lot of people
no.
don't like to talk about that, but
It didn't take
Orlando
two
whooped
years.
his ass, right? When he came back,
That
right?
was
So
okay.
yeah,
That was immediately when he came back.
right, right,
Right. So
yeah.
that was immediate. He came
So
back. He said, "I'm back," and Orlando because he wasn't in shape.
Yeah,
That's all it was.
you went
And
back to the
and then the
gym.
next year he came back to the he went to the gym.
We're not talking about the next year. We're just talking about that 45 incident, right? That 40 actually he changed, didn't he change from 45 to 23? Uh
Yeah, he did. He
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah. So about the Warriors, I think you're saying that they're gonna do well. For me,
Yes, they're gonna
if
finish in the top three for sure.
this is what's gonna happen to the Warriors, right? If you look at how the West is stationed right now, right? You got the Suns at the top, you got the Warriors in two. I think the Suns are gonna maintain that trajectory where they start to maybe create maybe a 3 game gap between themselves and the Warriors. The Warriors are
Right.
still gonna win games in the regular season. They're a
You
well-run basketball.
look at the comment. They're missing Draymond. He's the
Yeah,
anchor on defense, and
yeah.
he controls the flow of offense.
That's
This is
I get
true,
that. I
and
get
this
that.
is fully
But
true.
but Draymond is not the same Draymond from 2, 3 years ago,
They
unfortunately.
don't. But
Here's
he's been showing you for
and
the whole
and
season that he's close to it.
I'm gonna come out and say is this, right?
Uh,
If you look at the NBA table right now in the West, right? You
okay.
see the Suns. My theory is that the Suns are gonna maintain the 1 seed. I think the Warriors are gonna be anywhere between 2 and 3, depending on how well these Grizzlies play. All
That
right,
is,
the
I agree.
Grizzlies, if they can maintain that run, they'll be the 2nd seed in the West. Now, if the
Mm,
Warriors theoretically get the 2 or 3, that means they're possibly playing the
the Lakers
Lakers, the
or the Clippers.
Wolves, or the Clippers. That
Yeah.
that that's who I honestly think they'll be playing. Now the Lake,
Maybe the
honestly, I think
Nuggets
the
too.
Lakers will move up into maybe 5 or 6. I think they're gonna
Well,
force their way.
honestly, the Lakers were in fifth just a little while ago.
Yeah,
Fifth or sixth just a while ago.
yeah, yeah. So that last
So
loss they had to the Kings
the
was
last
really bad,
couple,
and
yeah. So
yeah. So for me, I think they're playing either now. If Clippers get back Kawhi, PG, um, and they're able to get their team together after the break, not towards the end of the season. This would have to be right after the All-Star break. So they get,
yeah, definitely.
maybe I would say 25 games in together, right?
But here's the
Road
thing.
and
The
away
thing
and
about the
home
Clippers is
games.
though
Mhm.
they the last report I saw is that they're assuming that PG is going to be out for the rest of the season.
Yikes. Well, that changes the story then. Yeah. You see, the key thing, you
Exactly.
see, if they face a team if the Warriors could face a team that has some established stars that can give them a run, I think they create some problems.
Well, I
You know,
mean, based on the rankings, it's either the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Mavs, maybe.
yeah. You
Even
know, it
they might even get lucky and play Timberwolves might even get lucky and come up in there.
like I'd love to see a young Luca going at the Warriors
Even
because he does.
even Luca could drop that. The Mavs could drop to 6 or 7.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Easily, easily.
Yeah.
Anyone from me from 4 all the way through 8 can be interchangeable at this point. If you look at their records, there's more than enough games to really, and because of how
I'd
the
say
Jazz are performing
I'd
right
say
now,
4 to 9.
yeah, 4 to 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Timberwolves, of course. They've been missing a lot of players lately, so yeah, they can move up. Now, if you get a healthy, I'll tell you what, I'd love to see the Warriors get either the Timberwolves fully healthy
Ooh.
or get the Mavs fully healthy with some additional pieces from free agency. All right, so make some trades,
That's a big
get
hope.
a ball handler that knows what they're doing. Maybe even check New York. Go to New York and say, you know what? Hey, New York, I'll give you a few pieces for Kemba. And
Huh?
move Kemba down to Dallas and move Luca
Uh,
off ball for
What?
a couple possessions. And
I can't
so
see
at
Luka
least you
off the
have a
ball
good.
though.
Yeah, man. Luca can do damage off ball, man. That's not a problem. The problem right now is his usage right now. You need to take down his usage. But with Dallas, who you gonna hand the ball off to?
Nobody.
You're gonna hand it to what's his name that shoots threes and maybe 1 or 2 drives a game. I forgot his name. He's a really good 3-point shooter. You know who I'm talking about.
Ro- Not
Tim
Glenn
Hardaway
Rob.
Jr. Tim
Tim
Hardaway
Hardaway
Jr.
Jr. There we go.
Right. So yeah. So you can't have him handling the ball. So you gotta give it to probably go to New York and say, hey, listen, you've been having some trouble with defense with Kemba. give us Kemba so we could use him. I think that's a good fit down in Dallas with the sole purpose of not adding defense, but adding a ball handler to reduce Luka's usage. It's too much. It's too much. You need somebody who's a genuine assister of the ball to get guys in rhythm. And I think with a piece like that, you immediately get Porzingis going. You get the chemistry between Kemba and, well, no, I don't think they played together, but you get Tim Hardaway Jr. being fed the ball more in 3-point shooting. I think that balances the team just a little bit. That's all they
I
need,
don't know, man.
you
I
know?
don't know.
Yeah. So Leron, hey, we got a few more people joining us here,
What
Um,
up? What up?
yeah, you don't want to play. As Teddy was saying, you don't want to play the
The
Lakers in
Lakers
the
in the
first
first
round.
round.
It's a
That's true.
dangerous team where they just struggle. Remember, the Heat started 18-18 on the season, right? Am I
Yeah,
correct?
they did.
18-18
Yeah,
on the season.
something like that. Yeah.
So where the Lakers are right now is, I know some of the vets on the team are looking at it and saying, it's not a problem. We'll get this together. When it's time to win, we'll probably win if we get enough games in together, healthy.
I swear, I
You know?
mentioned this earlier
Yeah.
in our group chat. I'm not sure if I remember, but I was saying that NBA players have spoilers, like even stars. We know when LeBron gets guys in a trade or something like that, but we forget that it takes most times a season for a team to get together and figure out how they're gonna work the chemistry, who's gonna
Yeah.
do what. And teams that do that in less than a season and go on to the finals and win are extraordinary.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
fact that the Lakers are all where they are right now, which is at 500, is pretty good, given the fact that they have all these injuries
Yeah.
and they're still able to have a 500 record in the West,
Yeah.
the competitive West.
I still
So I think, and the only problem the Lakers have is how they're going to incorporate AD when he comes back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be interesting, but I think just a couple shout outs here. Shout out to Rohan on, he mentioned that, the guys sleeping, you guys sleeping on the Grizzlies. I actually
Oh, not
don't
at
think
all.
we're sleeping on them, not at all,
Not at
because
all.
I think they're deserving of the 3 seed. In fact, I think, as I just said, I think they're going to move into the 2 seed if the Warriors keep stumbling as the way they are. I think the Warriors are probably, if it is injury that's holding back Steph, and that's, behind the doors what's happening with him, I think you're going to see them rest him more. So you're going to see like games here and there where they think, yeah, we can definitely win these games. I think they rest him in that sense. So the Grizzlies have an opportunity here to move up into that 2 seed, I believe. It just depends on who's sitting. I think these teams will actually play the chess game, depending on who's sitting where and how obvious it
Yeah.
is. But then the play-in makes it
The
so
play-in is
unpredictable.
exciting.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes it unpredictable. Shout out to Leron. He's saying the Lakers are shopping Westbrook, so still a chance to get a piece. It's going to be very hard
And
to get a
that's
piece.
a very hard piece to get.
Maury just said he has zero interest in taking Westbrook. Remember, Maury was the one who
Yeah,
brought
he has no
Westbrook
interest in
in
that.
from where he was to the Rockets, right? So he
Yeah,
has
but
zero interest.
remember when Westbrook went to Houston though? The first half of the season,
Hmm.
he was trash.
Yeah,
It's only
yeah,
until the second half of the season he figured out, all right, I can go on the inside, I could take advantage of the inside. But I think that was more of the offensive mind
yeah.
of Dan. That was D'Antoni still there?
Uh, I believe so. Yeah,
Right. So I
I
think that was
believe
more the
so.
offensive mind of D'Antoni telling them, yo, you need to get in there.
Yeah.
The Lakers don't have what's his name again? Jason Kidd anymore.
No, they don't. They don't. And it
Who do they
shows.
have?
If you go
Yeah,
back to
we
some
said
of
that. We
our
said that.
past episodes, we addressed the Lakers' offense, their coaching. That's
Yeah.
why I wanted to say actually that the Lakers, it's deeper than just the players. I think their coaching staff took a hit. They missed a huge offensive mind in Jason Kidd, and Frank Vogel is known as a defensive presence, right? We broke down his plays, his tendencies. If you go back a couple episodes, you'll actually hear us break down why they're struggling and why we're not really in favor of him being a long-term coach with them. But yeah, so check out the past episodes on that. Wilbur was saying that the quality of play Lakers have on that roster, they should not be in that position. I disagree. Um, I honestly don't see a well balanced team, especially when your main piece is LeBron James. What is LeBron James known for, Wilbur? So one, LeBron is a slasher slash passer with a big body that can shoot the ball, etc. He's all around great, but he's known in a system for kicking out to shooters in the event that it's not a
That's
sure
mainly
basket,
what he's known
right?
for, yeah.
And what have the Lakers on countless occasions failed to do? They have
Surround him
failed
with
to
shooters.
get him shooters.
Yeah.
And I'm talking knockdown shooters. When you look at the type of shooters he's had in throughout his history, Ray Allen, right? One shoe Mike Miller, right? When you look at the type of players, what's
Let's
that
not
guy
forget
from at
the last time they won the chip, KCP was shooting his
right?
tail off.
Yeah, he was shooting like above. He was shooting 40%, right, in
Yes.
certain games.
Yeah.
Now another thing too, he even had what's his name? Kyle, is it Kyle? Oh
Korver?
my goodness, Corver. Yes, even had Kyle Corver on his last legs in Cleveland, still knocking down shots.
That is
You know,
true.
he just couldn't. He just wasn't. Kyle Corver is not really a clutch shooter, so it really burned them when they got to the finals, etc.
Yeah.
It was painful to watch, but yeah. So in that sense, Lakers don't have the right system around LeBron, and you know, what can you say, man? I'm not a fan of the Lakers, but I would really like to see Braun win. But looking at the teams right now and looking at the players around him, would you trust AD to be healthy in the playoffs? Would you trust Russ to shoot the ball well in the playoffs? Would you trust their
That's a
defense
lot
to
of trusting.
show up
That's a lot of trusting.
and turn the switch on all of a sudden in the
But don't
playoffs?
forget, we still like Ariza came back for like 2 seconds and left.
Yeah.
Right?
The age,
Nice little 3 and D. He is older, yeah,
he's
true.
older, man.
Um,
Age is what's scary, man, with this team.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, age normally is a factor in when you're winning championships. To tell you, like a
yeah,
mature team is generally is what's going to win the NBA title.
yeah,
Generally, right?
Yeah.
The only problem is the Lakers team has not been consistent in terms of healthiness.
yeah.
So
yeah.
it's still hard to gauge like how good the team is because it's never been fully healthy since the beginning of the season, and that's the problem.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's definitely true. That's definitely true. I mean, in all fairness, we can't definitively say that they're terrible unless we have all their pieces on the board.
exactly,
Ariza
we
just
don't
came
have
back.
all the pieces.
None's not there. AD's not there. But I've seen enough. What I'm saying is I'm looking at seeing how they've played in the past playoffs. That was a completely
Right.
different team. We know why they won in the last
Well, yeah,
playoffs,
true.
right? And we know it took some extraordinary shooting from guys that weren't doing it in the regular season, but still were supposed to shoot, right, in the first place. Now, what we know right now is the only guy actually showing signs consistently is a guy that's not even getting more than 20 minutes a game. That's Reeves. Right?
Reeves?
That's Reeves. That's the only
That's
guy
right.
that's actually shooting
Yeah.
the ball at a consistent level right now, right? And it you look at Monk. Monk has games where he's like, "Wow, who's that?" You know,
Yeah, he'll give you 30 off of 8 and 9 for threes.
yeah, and then the next game he'll give you
game.
like 2 points. So you're gonna rely on that. You're gonna rely on that in the playoffs, right? Not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
on course right now. If I was to just extrapolate the Lakers right now, based on what we see so far, all right. So I acknowledge no AD, no none, all those things, right? As Teddy was pointing out, if I was to just take them as they are right now, that's a first round exit immediately. That's a sweep
Yes.
in the first round to either the Suns or
I'd say
even
they
the
win a game.
Grizzlies
They win a
coming
game.
through and wreaking havoc on their defense. Because
Oh
you're
well,
not,
the Grizzlies have an advantage already.
yeah, big time.
That youthfulness, and the Lakers seem to be missing that it factor. As
Yeah,
in they don't really they don't look like they want it. But I mean, LeBron always wants it
Big
in the
time.
playoffs.
Big
In the
time, big
playoffs.
time.
So I don't know if it's going to be different when the playoffs reach, because we know the playoffs. I remember when the Raptors beat LeBron's team during the regular season
Yep.
in a 4-0, and then playoffs came and LeBron went ham.
Yeah. That was
Right.
the great that those were the great days.
Right.
those
So
those were the
I
great
was,
days.
so that's how we know that the playoffs are a different breed.
Different animal. Different animal.
Exactly.
Different animal.
Different guy.
Yeah.
So we can say that the Grizzlies have the advantage, the mismatch, and they have the advantage now. But what happens exactly when you say with your Bulls? What happens when playoff time reaches and it's down to a 6-7 man rotation? What are you gonna do
Yeah.
then?
You know, I love what you're saying, man, and I appreciate that respect for Braun. But we have, and we saw it in the playoffs when they leaned on him heavy. The guy's 37. Father Time, I'm his biggest fan. I think his 2018 season, that's the best basketball player I've ever seen play the game in 2018. That established it for me. But this guy's 37, and you cannot lean all your hopes on a 37-year-old. Father Time is undefeated, and LeBron, as much as he's doing something historic right now, but let's just be honest. That team, with all the players they have, are still a bunch of players that are not going to take over and take a great bit of usage off of LeBron. There's nobody, even AD is not going to do it for you. So, and we spoke about AD multiple episodes. People calling him a top 5 player. I don't believe so in any stretch of any imagination. The guy is a stat magnet and can put up some absolutely ridiculous numbers. But impact wise, is AD a playoff game winner for you? It's no. When we broke down his offense, go back to a couple episodes, you'll actually see Michael break down his entire offense for you, and why we think that it's not good enough to be that player. The Lakers are in trouble unless they find a way to move Westbrook and bring in someone that can really score the ball, shoot at an efficient clip, and perform in the playoffs. I just don't see this happening with this team. It would have to be. You're not going to move AD. You move too much pieces for him.
Westbrook's contract would bring back the most pieces.
Yeah. So the question is, what do you do there? You know, it's hard to say, to be honest. I don't know how you would exactly. Who's going to take Westbrook right now is the question. Now, Wilbur said AD is who he is, and he ain't going to change, healthy or not. That's very true.
That's true. That's fact.
Leron said Davis is Mr. Glass, way too injury prone completely. This guy is, as they call him in a lot of NBA circles right now, Mr. Street Clothes, right? So Mr. Glass. Street Clothes is his nickname. That's his basketball.
Street Clothes Davis.
Yeah. Street Clothes Davis, man, because the guy's always in street clothes. Ron said, would love to know the Lakers record when fully healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're.
I would love to know it as well.
A 45 win ball
club. 48, 45, 48.
Yeah,
so in that range.
I don't think they're like some 60 win team. Yeah,
they need to. Vogel needs to work on his rotation. Vogel still needs to work on his rotations.
But we know Vogel is Vogel. That is not going to happen.
Everybody is everybody. So everybody. So
they are in a world of hurt. You know. Now we have a segment here where I'm not sure if you brought your stats today.
No, I don't bring any stats today.
But I have my usual segment. I'm going to try to bring that up. Where what I do is actually pull up a rating scale, and I call out an NBA player's name, and he's supposed to essentially give me a name for that player. So just bear with me here. I'm actually trying to pull up the file, just getting a little issue here and getting the file. So just bear with me.
Let me just check the score real
quick.
All right,
I actually got it. So, okay, I'm going to just bear with me here.
Damn. This game is over.
Yeah? Game's over?
Well, basically.
All right.
3 minutes to go. They're still up by almost 30. So.
All right, so let me know when you guys can see this. So this is our
You can.
rating, our little podcast rating scale here for NBA players, right? Um, now, again, this is subjective, so you know, don't want to get people, um, too crazy over this, but this is our little scale here that we go through at times, and so you have people, a player. I'm gonna call out a player's name. He's gonna tell me if that player fits into the top 5 ever, right, to play the game. Best of an era. Below that, you have superstar. That should be one word, so that needs to be edited. I've been lazy on that. And all star, um, exceptional talent, NBA player, G League, should not be in the league, does not know basketball. All right. So I'm going to call out a few here. Going to go through a
Go.
few.
Yeah.
Sabonis.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Sabonis.
Yes.
All star.
Sabonis is an all star. Yeah.
Sabonis is all
I,
star.
I, I would say,
All star.
yeah, I would say he's an all star. Now,
He's gonna be all star.
honestly speaking, because I don't ever see him being a franchise player. The best place for him to do that would have been Indy, and
To be
I
a
don't,
franchise player, yes, to be in Indy. He
yeah,
could have been. He could be a star if he
yeah,
stays in Indy.
yeah.
Um, they would need to get a point guard to feed him the ball like Lance was feeding him.
But have they
Last
have,
couple of.
but have they treated him like a star? I don't think so.
Oh,
I
this is
think they,
true because they've
I
been sharing that with Miles Turner.
Miles Turner, yeah. Thaddeus Young. I'm gonna say exceptional talent.
That is young. I want to say All Star.
Wow, all
When he
star,
was when Thaddeus Young was on the 76ers,
right?
he was playing at All Star level.
You know
Think about
what?
it.
I
Think about it.
will agree to disagree on that one. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that one. I think I'll still keep him at an exceptional level. He probably had some all-star moments, but because I do remember him, you know, certainly being above your
But
average player. But
yes.
I
So that's what I was
can't.
like. I mean, I know
Yeah,
we can't go like a between exceptional and all star, but I felt like he was more all star than exceptional talent.
so going back to Sabonis, Rowan said Sabonis definitely a star. He's coming
Oh
up
wow.
a few years. He'll be the next Jokic. It
Okay.
depends. It depends. If he stays in
All depends on
Indy
that situation. Yeah.
and they move Miles Turner, and it's no longer a shared situation because it's been an odd situation, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and I think they accept him as their franchise and build around him. Then certainly I could see that happening. Right now, he's just another numbers guy, right? That's putting up
Good.
unbelievable numbers. But is he really a star right now in the league? I don't think so. I would say he's playing at an all-star level, and putting up star numbers. But yeah, I'd still put him as a, yeah. I wouldn't call him necessarily a star because of the fact that the franchise to me hasn't really accepted him in that role. Um, I got another player for you,
Let's go.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
All star. Well,
Yeah, I'd say
all star, but in Portland he was a star.
he was a star. But I
In
want you, when we
Portland he
call
was
out a
a star.
player,
But
evaluate
definitely all star. My
evaluate
my my
their
full evaluation will be all star.
yeah.
Mm.
I would you know what?
I didn't
Yeah.
like his I didn't like his stint with the Spurs.
Yeah, parts of his career, I think he fluctuates between star and all star, right?
Yeah.
So I would say somewhere right on the boundary of star. I would say I would put him there because he was a
The
centerpiece
time
for a
the
while now.
time in Portland he was putting up fantastic numbers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it was like
I would agree.
Kevin Love, and you know.
Yeah, and if you said all star, I wouldn't object to that, to be honest, because parts of his career, vast parts of his career, he was just an all star, and I
Yeah.
shouldn't just say just. He was an all
I
star.
mean,
Yeah.
it's all
Um,
relative.
Kyle Lowry.
Toronto. He's a Toronto star. I would
Uh,
say he's a Toronto superstar,
he's a
right?
Toronto star.
He's a Toronto superstar,
Come on, man.
but
What is he? What is?
realistically, he's an all-star.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Realistically, he's an all-star.
Tough one. It's a tough one. It's a
I
tough
don't. I,
one.
I don't think he had.
I think
I
he's an all
who
star. Yeah,
who would
he's
we
an all
consider a
star.
star? Who would we consider a star for him to be like?
Well, the ultimate comparison I would say, right, is you look at the days when he had his brother over there, DeMar DeRozan, and
Right?
DeMar was not playing the same
He was
ball
not.
that he is right now. I'm sorry, he
He
was
was
doing
playing.
similar things, but the
Yeah,
impact
but
was
he was not the
different.
same. It was not
Yeah,
the
and they
same.
were sort of at the same level to me. The
Exactly.
two guys that you could go get
They
equal
were
stuff from.
both. They were both Toronto superstars.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, I'll put him as an all-star, not a star actually. Now, when you're
Yeah.
in Toronto, you have to understand that market, right? A lot of players just would not go there to play because a lot of people
Yeah.
don't understand
It's a
they
completely
think
different
it's the
culture.
NBA is one,
It's a different
just one
country. Different
network, right? But
country. Different culture.
completely different. And then the flights, etc. It's just a
Yes.
different situation. A
Yep.
different situation. So no, I would agree with that. Leron actually said Aldridge between star and all star
Yeah.
for career. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I agree. The next player that I have for you here, Kelly Oubre Jr.
Problem with Kelly, he's so inconsistent. One game he's going to be an exceptional talent. The next game he's going to be a regular NBA player. So based on the numbers, I'ma just go with NBA player.
Yeah. I'd go with
Although I really want him to be an exceptional talent because you can see the potential that he has.
Yeah, you know what? I would say, yeah, that's a tough one because he's shown flashes where that he could be an exceptional talent. I don't think he's
Yes.
anywhere close to an all-star, so that I would say he's an NBA player at this point. But his trajectory will see him in that exceptional talent area because he has flashes. He can.
He
The other
has
night, I
some
think he dropped
games
like some ridiculous amount of threes, and
in
you
the
know,
fourth quarter, like he couldn't
Yeah.
miss.
yeah,
And you're like,
So-
well, where has this Kelly been for
right.
the last, you know?
I agree. I agree.
Even the commentators were shocked.
Yeah, I agree. I got another player here for you. Tell me what you think about Shai Alexander.
Oh, I love Shai. Yeah, ever since Chris Paul was there, because I didn't really watch OKC much, because when it's OKC. But see, when CP3 went over there, and then you notice that he was mentoring Shai, and you're like, damn,
Yeah,
Shai is actually really good.
right.
I have Shai as an exceptional talent.
Yeah, I honestly,
He has a lot of potential.
I'm gonna say something here because honestly, I think he's been playing at an all-star level in OKC. So,
Ooh,
I think he's an all-star. I honestly believe that that kid is an all-star. He's just not doing it for a good team right now, but I think he's been playing at an all-star level since down there. Now is he gonna get an all-star vote in?
No.
I live.
Well, he might get a vote, but he won't play.
Yeah.
He won't get started.
So
or,
I
or
lived.
even come off the bench.
So I could tell you, my first NBA game was actually in OKC, watching Chris
Oh.
Paul when the Hornets
Nice.
moved. When what used to be the Hornets in the New
Right, okay.
Orleans area moved up to
right.
OKC, and that market, I used to live about 2 hours outside of OKC. There's nothing there, bro. That market is. I'm actually surprised
It's like there's
OKC
nothing
has.
there.
There's nothing there. So for me, I would have to say that he's definitely an all-star for me.
So
Leron
for
even
this
said
year, you have him as an all-star.
Yeah. He's an all-star. He's an all-star for me.
Coming out of the West.
He's not gonna get into the all-star team.
Okay.
But and that's why I point to the market. But
right.
if he's able to showcase his talents for a team that's in a decent enough market, then I would go for it. Um, a team like Portland, if I'm Portland, and we say, I'll just mention this, and we say we're rebuilding, I'm looking at OKC, and I'm telling myself, you know what? Um, if I could shift some pieces on some
because
expiring contracts, if
they
CJ
have a lot of
McCollum's
picks.
contract,
Yeah.
yeah, if CJ McCollum's contract is dropping off next year, I'm looking at Shy, man. I'm looking at players down that side that may not want to be in that market and just try to time a trade that could get me a player like that because he's sure money, man. He is sure money.
That's
And
fair.
Portland may not be the largest market, but they're a team that has a legacy. So you still can pull in. It's a nice city to be in. So I think um, you could pull in some players there. So yeah. Now Leron was asking, I guess, what about KD? I think
KD's
KD's a
best of
superstar.
era.
No,
Best of era.
he's not best. What? He's not even. So how you best of an era and you're not even the best at your position? So yeah, I mean, you win 2 titles. I'm gonna get
I just
crazy
knew he
off
was
of
gonna
this,
say
right?
that. No, I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah, you remember you got top. I guess he's. Let's say it's at that level. He plays at a level where it's best of an era level. So with that said, I'm not gonna argue with you on that. So best of an era it is, sure.
He's not
Um,
the best of the era.
of his era, but
Yeah,
that's the
he's
level of basketball he's playing at.
yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah. No, so don't get me wrong, superstar is high. If we were to go through like players, like just to give you an idea of thoughts, right? Let's call some major players right now, right? Let's do Chris
Okay.
Paul. So for example, Chris Paul, I would say he plays at the best of an era level. Now, I would put him at superstar. That's not a shake. That's not to be taken. This is a very wide list, and that list, that triangle from the top, thins out very quickly at the top as you go up, as you move up to the top. So Chris Paul to me is a superstar. Because to be at best of the era, that's what you're talking about in the conversation of best player in the league at any given point. And I don't
Yeah.
think Chris Paul has ever been in that conversation for
Well,
best in the league.
he has
Yeah, maybe
for a
one
couple of years, for like two or
one
two
or two
2 years for
seasons
sure.
max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um the if we go to another player, for example, let's go to let's call out a very talented player right now that's at the top of the league. Let's go with Jimmy Butler, for example. Jimmy Butler is, to me, a superstar. For me, I would say so. Jimmy Butler is an elite player, but is not the best of an era. He's not in that conversation for to be the best player in the league. Now, this is all opinionated. I'm interested to see.
I
I
don't know.
think you're gonna go with star. I think
Yes,
you're
I
leaning
am.
star, which is not a
Yeah,
knock.
I
I think
am.
it's not a knock because
No, it's not a
you know,
knock. I don't see him as a
right,
superstar. I see
right.
him more of he's similar to that Joe Johnson ish thing that I keep
Mm,
talking about.
I think
Where
Jimmy is better,
it's
man.
no, Jimmy is better than Joe,
Yeah.
but like in the situation is, Joe was a star, but it was just
Hmm.
not apt to
Yeah,
reach
yeah,
like
yeah.
superstar
And
level.
and
It's,
yeah,
it's
and I
similar.
I get it. I get it. I get it. And to be fair, I wouldn't argue with someone that said he played. So if you look at the bubble, that was a superstar Jimmy.
Yeah,
But
in the finals
most
for real.
occasions, Jimmy's a star. I I
Yeah,
could
exactly.
I'm totally with that. I'm totally
Yeah.
with that. So in fairness, I would agree with that. I think that's more than fair enough. Um, AD. We could look at AD, and I know we've talked
As
Kyrie.
in
I'm going to ask you
Anthony
about Kyrie
Davis.
next. Anthony Davis. Where would you put Davis? I
Uh,
honestly, I'll let you shoot first, man. I'll let
I
you
don't
shoot
even know.
first. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I'll let you shoot first on that one.
Star.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we can go
It's a star.
any higher than that.
Yeah,
I've seen
star.
glimpses of a
You can see
potentially a
Gustav was,
superstar,
yeah,
but
exactly.
I,
But star.
yeah, but I would have to say star. And that's not a knock. That's still a pretty high
No,
level.
no.
I'm gonna do three more, okay, of this.
Mm,
Uh, we're gonna touch just because of Leron's question. I'm gonna deviate a bit. I know we talked about Kyrie before, but where would you
we
put
have.
Kyrie?
Come on,
Don't even.
superstar.
Don't. Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I know
I
you're
was
gonna
wait.
say
I
best
was
best of the
waiting.
era now,
I
best of the
was
era.
I was waiting for you to to say that. I smelt you thinking best of an era, man. I was like, no, he's not gonna do. By the way, this is the
Uh,
same guy that said the most skilled player ever, but yet you
Kyrie
don't. But
Irving
yet you
is the
don't even
most
put him as best of an era.
skilled player in the
Wait a minute.
NBA right now.
How you could now
Being the
you
most skilled player in
you're
the NBA
changing it.
has nothing to
You're
do.
changing it up, man. You change. I swear you're changing that thing up, because to me, I thought you said most skilled player ever.
All right, fine. Most skilled player ever. All right. Kyrie's the most skilled player ever. But being the most skilled player ever doesn't mean that you
La-
execute enough to
ladies,
be a top five player ever or the best of the era.
you know what? Fuck this, man. Sorry, I'm not supposed to curse, but yeah. I'm drinking some of this Jordan tequila, man. That's some hot garbage right there. This guy just, ladies and gentlemen, I was either gonna leave the show early or drink the
You
Jordan
better drink.
tequila,
You better drink
and
some
I
tequila.
apologize for my words there. I just
Drink some
yeah,
damn
we probably have
tequila.
to change the rating on this episode, unfortunately. So hopefully no one had their family around.
Uh,
Yeah, but no, I can't
most
believe
skilled
you would
ever.
call Kyrie the most skilled player ever. That to
Most
me
skilled ever, sir.
blasphemous in
Most
every way.
skilled player ever.
I cannot get
Most
over
skilled
that.
player ever.
Ever, but yet would not put
Ever.
him in the best of an era category. Kyrie has how many All Star, All NBA selections or any? I mean, okay, I get it. I
But
get it. This
that
has
doesn't
nothing to
have
do with
that
skill,
nothing to do with
but to
skill.
me, it does. If you're executing, if you're the most skilled player ever, and you're executing at the highest level,
I have the skills to do it. Doesn't mean that I'm going to do it.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take this guy through a couple steps here, and I did this before, and it answers itself.
Trash.
It
Trash.
it answers itself. Ladies and
Trash.
gentlemen, to be a basketball player, you have certain categories that make you that require a certain amount of skill. Okay, so I'm gonna take you through some of these skills in basketball, and we're gonna see, is Kyrie the most skilled shooter ever? No. Is Kyrie the most skilled finisher at the rim ever? No. Is Kyrie the most skilled defensive player ever? No. Is Kyrie the most skilled playmaker ever? No. In fact, Kyrie at his position, which is point guard. Now, this guy's going to come and try to convince you that Kyrie is actually a two as an excuse.
I have never said that Kyrie
No, no,
was a two.
I'm giving you a chance, but I'm just making sure all bases are covered, right? Because we're trying to get the strikeout here, okay? In baseball, we're trying to get the strikeout here. We're not trying to get any hits to bases, etc. Kyrie is not in the top five, I would argue, in most of those categories that I just called out. Kyrie Irving, by the way, has no All NBA selections. Kyrie has never been in an MVP conversation. What Kyrie Irving is, I'll tell you what, is the best handler of the basketball ever. And Kyrie Irving has adopted Kobe Bryant's philosophy and a lot of his skills. Does he do it at the same level? Not a chance. So, with that said, I think he is a skilled player. I think it's admirable the things he does because he's actually doing the things that very good and highly skilled NBA players have done. This guy right now, my co-host, is telling me that Kyrie Irving is more skilled than Kobe Bryant. Ladies and gentlemen, I can say no more. I can, by him being the most skilled player ever, you are telling me you are watching your screen right now and have the gall, the audacity to tell me that
You
Kyrie Irving is more skilled
just
than Kobe Bean Bryant.
one thing I'll give it to you. Eh? You really know how to turn an argument. You really know how to turn a whole argument and be like, yo, Kobe. You said better than Kobe, dog. You said better than Kobe.
Well, ever means
Ever,
history, right?
ever,
So,
dog.
so,
Handles, shooting, finishing,
oh my
post up
goodness.
game,
Yeah.
passing. He has the whole package.
I respect the opinion. I respect the opinion, but I
Left
just
shoulder, right shoulder.
I I think you're looking at the offensive package. I think the hallucinations that Kyrie allows fans to get into when he's doing looking so good in his moves, his offensive package. And we talked about his game, right? How twitchy he is, etc., and what makes him what he is. I just think basketball has more facets. When we talk about the best all round, most skilled all round player,
But
you have to look at.
we know LeBron is number one for you.
Well, there's some other players that do some really like
I
magic,
like you
and
said,
those
well,
guys, that you have to consider, right? So I wouldn't even say I've answered definitively. LeBron is one
listen.
that comes to
But
mind because of.
if all your teammates can say that you are one of the most skilled players ever, his bag of tricks is par none. You
you
got
know,
Harden, you got
Mhm.
KD
Yeah,
talking about that he had his skill level is higher than this.
and that's
James
true.
is fascinated by it.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's fine. That's fine. I would say he's one of the most. He has one of the most attractive games. Lauren wants to say most skilled offensive player ever. Even if you consider that, is he more skilled than Jordan than Kobe offensively?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
He has more tricks.
Oh my God.
He has more tricks in his
I
bag.
think it's
He
I
has
think it's
more
different.
weapons in his
I think
arsenal.
I I don't agree with that. I do
He has more
not
weapons
agree
in
with
his
that.
arsenal.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
Wow.
Let's do a comparison. And I know, ladies and generally we stop at anywhere from an hour to an hour 20, and we're over that right now. But because of this, we'll stop at probably an hour and 30. But what I would say is this, right? Um, when you look, what he does a lot different. They're not the same player, though he does mimic a lot of Kobe's moves, offensive sets, right?
Okay.
You look
I
at
do
the
not
fact that,
disagree.
okay, when you're finishing at the rim, carries limited above the rim, right? So most of his game at the rim exists below it. Now he's twitchy, he can do a lot there, but his options are less. I'm trying to break it down because
Why is
can
his options less?
Because you don't, if you're not operating, let's look at it as land space. To me, I'm looking at it as a plane, right? Okay, let's consider a number line. And to me, the halfway mark to the left of that line is below the rim. To the top are moves that you can do above the rim. So it means that you're missing half of that line available to you that requires a completely different level of
But
skill
if
that
you
you
know
don't
how to
have.
work the angles into your favor, your
You create
probability goes
more.
up.
It means that he
Right,
has
exactly.
he has a lot that exists below that line that other
And
players on
he
that
knows
have the full line
exactly
don't have.
how to
But
position himself in order to make that space so he has enough to make that layup.
right, but is it more than players that have could operate below the rim, that are twitchy, and can operate above the rim as well? I would contest that. I'm listen, man. I guess it's just a difference in opinion, but I think I cannot. I just don't see it as representing more skill. I think it's at what he does, he's the best at. I think what is unique to him, he is the most skilled at. And that's being that twitchy guy that under the rim, you're just not going to stop no matter what. But I think when you consider that there's so much more when you look at offense as a general skill, I can't put him up there because he is missing certain elements. He's an undersized two. And we're comparing him to guys that have Kobe has better footwork
Oh,
in my
you always
books.
put him as a two, eh?
I do because he is not okay, let me put it this way why I keep saying that. If we were to look at Kyrie through just a PG scope,
No,
not
he's
considering
more of a
anything
scoring.
else.
He's more of a
He's
scoring
not
point guard anyway.
elite. He's
Okay.
not elite for me. As a PG, Kyrie's not elite for me. As a
Okay.
two, and what a two is supposed to do, one of the best in the league, easily. So that's what that's the scope. That's how I'm looking at it essentially.
Okay.
And I know, that's just an opinion, of course. Others will say, well, he's a decent point guard. I just I don't see it that way. I don't think he's that type of facilitator. He's not at that elite level. He does it at an okay level,
He
but I
can
think this
facilitate
guy's
when he needs to facilitate.
when he needs to. But I still think for me,
But
it doesn't
he's more
change.
score he's a more scoring
He's more
oriented guard.
scoring. He's more scoring, and he's godly at it too. And I want to make sure, by me saying that I disagree with you, is not me saying that Kyrie's garbage. I'm not. I know a
Well,
lot of people
yes.
think, oh, he's bashing Kyrie. No, I'm not. Kyrie is still. When I see Kyrie play, it's like, oh my, I miss seeing Kyrie in a Cavs shirt, working with his shirt outside, hands drooping,
Oh
killing
man.
guys with the
Oh
dribble, man.
man.
There's never gonna be another Kyrie like that for me. With LeBron off ball, Kyrie doing his work. Come on, man. I have all the respect in the world for this guy. So, but it's just that I think we have different opinions, of course, when it comes to, you know, his skill
Left
and how
left
the
block,
NBA, how we should
right block,
evaluate that, right?
left shoulder, right shoulder,
Yeah,
mid game,
yeah. I man, I
three
just
point
I look at
shooting.
the greats, man, and I think they're so good at what they do, man. All those other players, the footwork from Kobe, and just all the things he could do, man. You're talking about stuff that
Kai, Kai
you would
got
see
that too though.
flashes, you would see flashes from other players, and then you add Kobe's skill and his execution to the fact that his impact on winning, whether it be
Yeah,
by himself or with help,
yeah,
the
true.
ability to win, and that's what Kyrie doesn't have. That's what's missing. It's missing.
It's probably what's missing. Yeah, but that,
Yeah.
that, that has
So
nothing to do with skill.
it doesn't. It doesn't. I want to make sure on that. It doesn't.
And I just
But
want people to know, if they didn't already know, that I think that Kobe Bryant is the greatest player that I've ever seen play.
yep. But yeah. All right. Wait. It's amazing though.
Okay.
You say I think you say that, right? But you also, what I like is that you do acknowledge that when it comes to lists, you don't put him as a top 5 player all time.
No, he's not a top 5 player.
Yeah.
But he's the
So
greatest player I've
that's
ever seen play.
interesting. Yeah, that's actually cool. That's actually cool. So you do know that is your favorite player. He's the greatest to you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to lists and how it's broken down and stuff, and it's yeah, that's respectable, man.
Yeah,
That's
like
that's,
most,
that's
I don't
respectable.
think most people understand, right? I saw Kobe grow from high school. I watched his whole career. I mean, we all watched LeBron's whole career, but I
Yeah,
legit grew up with
watching
Kobe.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that's how
Definitely.
it was. You grew
Yeah,
up watching Kobe,
yeah.
and I
I did the I
watched
did
all
the
of his
same.
plays.
I did the same. I
Yeah,
did the same,
right.
man. I
I
didn't
mean, most
like
people
him.
didn't like him.
I didn't like him. I didn't like him. In fact, we shared on the show. I I respected him. I didn't like him, and then they played Vince. Vince was my guy. I thought Vince was gonna take over for MJ,
He should have been the next
and
MJ.
ugh, yeah, Kobe walked in the building and just kind of
Just took it.
put that, just
Just took it.
just killed him, killed
Yeah,
him, slaughtered.
took it. Yeah.
So after that game, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, this guy's got next. So, and then I was hoping McGrady would kind of kill him off, and it didn't
Injuries.
happen.
Injuries.
I mean, McGrady for 2 years was like, it seemed like, okay, Kobe has
Yeah,
this guy that's taller than him and doing everything he can do, and
he could do
the
everything.
injuries just so. And then thank goodness the man himself, LeBron, walks in and shakes things up a little bit. So unfortunately, they never got to meet, but
And unfortunately,
it
they
is
never
what it
got to
is.
play with each other.
I know. It's horrible, man. But
That have been the greatest duo of all time.
yeah. So Leron says, despite the limitations, he makes the angles happen. I'm with you, Michael. You
Yeah,
convinced
exactly.
me. Man, before is there a way to ban people from this list? This is a New York fan, that's why he's on your side. Because listen, man, let me explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, and go back to the ending of the last episode, Leron, because the Knicks are so
uh,
trash, man, to me.
oh my
And I know you're
god.
just doing this because I don't like the Knicks, so your opinion is biased. We're not counting that. You didn't convince anybody on the show. All right, so to hell with that. Okay, to hell with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is hilarious.
So, yeah. But anyways, no, no, it's good, man. Um, yeah. So we're I think we're man, we're at hour 30, man. So,
Oh shit. Let's
definitely
let's do
let's just
let's do
pick
what?
those games
Let's
really
pick those
quickly
games real quick.
and try to for the next show next week.
One, two.
So next games you have the Suns, Pacers, Magic's, Hornets. So what you got for the Suns, Pacers, man?
I got Suns.
All right. You got the Suns. Okay, I got the Suns,
Don't
man. I'm not gonna
don't
go
tell me you're gonna
against
take the
that.
Pacers just because.
No, no, no. I'm gonna go with the Hornets, of course, for the Magic's game. Who you got?
Same,
All right,
same.
Raptors, Pistons.
Ooh,
Um,
Raptors. You can't.
yeah, I'll
There's
go with
not
the
much else
Raps.
you can say. You
And
can't really
then what
say.
you got for the Celtics and
Ooh, this
Sixers?
one. This one's tough.
I'm going with
I'll
it. Give
go
me
with
the
this.
Sixers. You're gonna go with the Sixers?
I'm going with the C's.
See, yeah, I'll go with the Sixers then.
Yeah.
And then Warriors, Bulls. Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's a
Ooh,
nice one.
that's
Give
a
me the Bulls.
tough
Give me the
one.
Bulls. Who you got? If you take the Bulls, I'm picking the opposite. So whatever you pick, I
No,
take the opposite.
I'm a. Oh, it's at Bulls too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take the
So who you
Warriors.
got? You take the
Yeah, I'll
Warriors?
take the Warriors.
Okay. I'll take the Warriors. I'll
Warriors,
take the
man.
Bulls. Sorry, Bulls.
Yeah,
And then Hawks,
yeah.
Heat.
Um, Hawks.
All right, give me the Heat. And then Cavs, Spurs. That's an
Damn, this
interesting
one's a
one,
tough
man.
one. I'll take
Yeah.
my Spurs.
I'll take the Cavs. And then Rockets, Kings.
Jeez, this is awful. Give me the
Yeah,
Rockets.
I'll take the Kings. And
All
then
right, cool.
this is an interesting matchup, but yeah,
Ooh.
give me the Grizz on this. I'm going Grizz.
Yeah, I'll take the Grizz too.
Okay. So we have some differences. So
Yeah, we have some different. So
loser,
we'll see for sure.
loser has
We'll
to
see for
step up and
sure.
drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see for sure.
So Leron was asking Knicks A team or B team, aka Mavs, or B
That's
team,
funny.
aka Mavs.
Oh, that is
Oh
funny.
man, yeah.
But he's not entirely wrong though.
Knicks are just yeah. I don't understand the hype of the fans. Last year they got all into their stuff with Randall, and now they're booing him off
He's
the court.
where
So
is he? Where's Randall?
you gotta stick with your team. They don't even know how to be true fans anymore. First when you lose for that long, I think you just lose connection with reality and how you're supposed to support a team. But
Yeah, so any two wins is like, oh my god, we won 50.
shout out to the Knicks fans. Hey, we should be unbiased, right? But then again, we don't have
Oh
to
yeah.
be. So I'm sorry, but Leron, you may have to come on the show and defend your Knicks, and tell us why they're a good team.
Yes, maybe.
Absolute trash, man. But yeah, sure, absolute trash. Thibodeau's little boys, man. Yeah.
Crazy.
He said he'll be tuning in next time, so we're looking
That's
forward
good.
to
We'll
that.
look out for you.
Looking forward to that, man. Definitely tune in. Shout out to everybody that took part today. Leron,
Yeah,
Lauren, Teddy,
we
Happy,
appreciate y'all
Wilbur.
guys.
Yeah, everybody that even if you got to watch us on demand, these shows are available. Join the Facebook page, the group. Sorry, leave a comment. We're always posting things. There will be a chance next week to win a free Spotify.
Ooh,
Months worth of Spotify premium, so you're gonna get free music and stream as much as you want. There'll be a
that's right.
random question on the Facebook group, so tune in there and get a shot at it. Chiron was our last winner. Wilbur was a winner, but Wilbur has not claimed his prize. Did not claim his prize, so
He doesn't want it.
I guess he doesn't want Spotify, man. So somebody shout out to Wilbur on missing out on a month's worth of Spotify. So 2 accounts will be available next week. So
Boom.
tune in and
Nice.
see you soon. All right.
Hey. Thanks, guys, for coming out. Appreciate y'all. See y'all again on Tuesday.
Yep. See you guys on Tuesday, man. Thanks for tuning in. And share the podcast, man. Just share it out there. Get some friends involved, and we could have a conversation. And we have some segments where we're gonna actually be bringing fans on board, to
Yeah.
to maybe take part in the show for 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Oh,
Have a
yeah.
conversation with us. Tell us what you feel
We'd
about the game.
love to have you guys
Yeah.
on here with us. It's not a problem. It's
We
not
are.
just about the two of us going back and forth. We want to get you two so we could go back and forth with you.
Someone's calling me a platform bully. Here's the thing: it would be a bully if it was a closed platform, but you're allowed to
It's
come on
true.
the show and defend yourself.
Exactly.
It's like your team's doing terrible. You're still talking up a storm. So if somebody didn't look at your team's record, they'd think, "Man, those Bulls are #1 seed in the East, running over everybody.
Everybody.
Just beat the Bulls, sweep the season series." I think it's like that, but we know the reality. So come on the show, and make your case for your team. Don't be bullied at all. We will fight bullying to the end. Okay.
That's right.
So the floor is open.
Always
Yeah,
welcome,
man.
guys.
All right, man. So definitely shout out to everybody who joined
All
the
right.
show today, and shout out to the hand for that bottle, man. That was a cool.
Hey,
That was a
hey,
cool
man.
moment, man.
I gotta be different. I gotta be
I'm,
different.
I'm telling you that was ill. So, no, definitely looking forward to seeing you drink more of that next week when you
Oh,
see the
God.
results. So, all right, folks, this
Can't wait.
is the Collective Bargaining Podcast. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next week.
Hey, see you guys later.
Peace out.